Gamma Empire, Ulthane City. Since the end of the war between the two emperors, Xiao Yin, Sun'er, and Kalen held a grand wedding in Wutan City. Countless people in the entire Do Qi continent witnessed their love. The wedding was romantic and grand. After that, it was rumored that Xiao Yin accompanying the two daughters on the Do Qi continent. They seemed to have disappeared in the eyes of ordinary people, but only a few people knew that Xiao Yin was the only one who roamed the mainland, and the two daughters went to retreat to attack Do Di. Since then, in the Gamma Empire, Wutan City has jumped to become a first-tier city, and the small Xiao family has also developed in geometric multiples. Emperor Yin Xiao Yin. On the top of a familiar cliff, a frail man in black was lying on the grass, holding a piece of grass in his mouth, chewing slightly, letting the faint bitter taste fill his mouth. The starting point of everything seems to have changed since I met the teacher here. The man in black smiled and muttered to himself. Taking a closer look, this seemingly weak figure and terrain seemed to be somewhat familiar. Emperor Yin Xiao Yin, the mountain behind Wutan City. The seemingly emaciated young man in front of him is the supreme powerhouse of the Do Qi continent. The legendary figure who rescued Central Continent from Emperor Soul Heaven and even saved Do Qi continent from a catastrophe. Time flies, and before you know it, decades have passed since the legendary battle of the two emperors. After Xiao Yin defeated the Soul Heaven Emperor, the Do Qi continent also continued to celebrate for a long time. First, it was to celebrate that Do Qi continent was still the continent that produced many geniuses and continued to be wonderful. The second is to celebrate the emergence of Do Di powerhouses in Do Qi continent. This breath? It should be almost the same. Decades are really fleeting. Xiao Yin stood up from the grass and looked at the space in front of him that was shaking slightly. It was strange to say that the grass under Xiao Yan's feet not only did not tilt because of Xiao Yan's reclining, but was even more verdant than the surrounding grass. A figure gracefully walked out of the shattered space, looking at the man in black in front of him. He couldn't help smiling. "Brother Xiao Yin?" A crisp and sweet voice echoed in the back mountain. Successful. Xiao Yin turned around, looked at Sun'er's delicate and slightly blushed cheeks, and smiled slightly. "Well, thanks to Brother Xiao Yin, you opened the mysterious plane channel to absorb the origin chi there. Otherwise, I am afraid that on the Do Qi continent, there is still no one who can break through to Do Di." Sun'er looked at Xiao Yin with eyes like the moon. Afterwards, Sun'er and Xiao Yin hugged tightly, and then Xiao Yin gently hugged Sun'er's waist and said with emotion, "When your father sent you to my Xiao family, now you want to come, but you have lost Mrs. back again. You have always been the hero in Sun'er's heart." Sun'er also looked at the back mountain of Yutan City in the Gamma Empire and couldn't help feeling a little bit. Yes, everything started from here. Here is her beautiful childhood. I met Brother Xiao Yin. He has always been a hero in his heart. Xiao Yin and Sun'er cuddled together, looking at each other. Xiao Yin also attacked his charming cherry lips when he saw this. Sun'er was startled at first, but he didn't dodge and let the man in front of him move. A sense of spring is slowly radiating from the back mountain of Wutan City. Cough, cough, cough. Did we come at the wrong time? Two middle-aged men came out of the void, looking at the two men and women cuddling below with a loving look on their faces. Although the two of them today seem to have not changed much from the past, their aura is far from what they used to be. That feeling is actually a Do Di. "Father, Senior Zhu Kuan," Xiao Yin said to the two people in the sky, pulling Sun'er with a hint of crimson on her cheeks. "Ha! It doesn't matter. Sun'er is already married to you, and it's one of my wishes. But you're really a kid. I think I just sent Sun'er to your Xiao family in an attempt to get the piece of soul jade from Emperor Tuasha. I can't imagine that now I have really lost my wife and lost my army. However, thanks to your help, I finally broke through the barrier of Do Sheng, and it's considered cheap for you, kid. Gu Yuan couldn't help but be very satisfied when he saw Xiao Yin and his beloved daughter Suner, who was a father. Which father doesn't want his daughter to find the happiness of the one she loves? Huh? Xiao Yin also laughed in agreement with Gu Yuan, who looked at him with a look of relief. Kai Lin is also out. Xiao Yin had just finished talking to Gu Yuan's father when he saw that in the depths of the space, suddenly an overwhelming 9-colored luster spewed out, and finally the colored light condensed and turned into an enchanting shadow that appeared in front of Xiao Yin. After so many years of seclusion, it's finally a breakthrough. Kai Lin stretched out lazily. Her charming curves showed her lingering perfection, and then the queen, as usual, said coldly, "This is Emperor Do. The level of the strong is really different from that of Do Sheng. Is Xiao Xiao all right?" Even with Queen Medusa's aura, she missed her daughter very much after years of seclusion, and immediately said to Xiao Yin, "Xiao Xiao is okay. She has been following the teacher and guided by the teacher himself." Xiao Yin also looked at Medusa and said slowly, talking and laughing. The 5 of them walked from the back mountain to the main entrance of Zhao's house. "Don't worry, Yinner. I'll take care of everything here for you. A good man is determined to go everywhere. Go with confidence. The new world is different from the Dochi continent. You have to be more careful about everything." His palm rested on Xiao Yan's shoulder. Isn't the one who was talking about Xiao Zhan, the current patriarch of the Xiao family? Since the war between the 2 emperors, Xiao Yan also handed over the position of the patriarch back to his father. Now the Xiao family is full of children and grandchildren. After Xiao Yan was promoted to Do Emperor, due to the activation of the power of blood, all people close to Xiao Yan have benefited from the power of blood, and their strength is like a boat. It was so easy to improve. In just a few short years, the Xiao family developed at an astonishing speed and became the leader of several major families. Of course, Xiao Yin, the Yin Emperor, was indispensable. Quietly bid farewell to the Xiao family, and the 5 of them also understood that the strong Do Di had to leave Dochi continent after all. Immediately, they appeared in Zhongzhou. The top of Zhongzhou, a mountain that broke out of the ground in the battle of the 2 emperors, is called Shuangdi Mountain by the world. This mountain is unattainable, and there seems to be a special energy barrier on it. No matter who it is, there is no way to forcibly break in. The 5 fighting emperors. This Do Di powerhouse, who had been extinct on Do Di continent for 10,000 years, now appears on Shuangdi Mountain as 5 of them. At the peak of the mountain, the 5 people who were still in the Xiao family just a moment ago appeared in a manor. In the manor, a figure in black stood with his hands behind his back, looking up at the endless void in front of him. There was no energy fluctuation on him. However, under that thin back, it seemed that even the heaven and the earth were only eclipsed. "You guys already have the strength to attack Do Di, but it's just because of the lack of origin chi that you can't go any further. As long as this problem is solved, you will be promoted to Do Di. It will be a matter of course." Xiao Yin said with a smile. "Hey, but even though you were promoted to Do Di, there seems to be a big gap between you and you. What level are you at now?" Zhu Kuan asked curiously. He found that even if he stepped into Do Di level, still cannot see Xiao Yan's strength. After decades of practice, it seems that the latter has made progress. It is true that after the years of your retreat, I vaguely feel that my strength has improved and I have improved, but there is no record of Do Di on the Dochi continent, and I don't know. Xiao Yan was also a little helpless. The Do Di strong is the strongest in this world. No one knows what goes up. However, he also understands that now he is indeed a lot more tyrannical than when he was just promoted to Emperor Do. Similar to the strength of the original Soul Emperor, I am afraid it will not hinder him in the slightest. In that plane, there may be an answer. At the time of your retreat, my feeling is getting stronger and stronger. The Do-Chi continent seems to be crowding me out. There is always a voice calling me from a distance. Xiao Yin raised his head, looked at the endless void, and muttered, I'm curious about that voice you're talking about, or another unknown world. Zhu Kuan cracked his mouth, and his eyes were strangely hot. In this world, they were already supreme powerhouses. However, in that mysterious plane, perhaps this was just the beginning of the journey. You're heartbroken? Xiao Yin said with a smile. Aren't you? Zhu Kuan said with a smile. Xiao Yin nodded, took a deep breath, raised his head, and looked at the endless void. The smile on his face gradually became brighter. This kind of smile has not appeared for many years. Then Xiao Yan's figure slowly hovered above the Do-Chi road, squinting his eyes and looking at the endless void in the passage in front of him. His eyes that had been calm for many years suddenly became hot, and he murmured, These decades of cultivation have almost made me forget the feeling of fighting. Gu Yuan and Zhu Kuan hovered close to Xiao Yin, their eyes full of fiery eyes looking at the dark passage in front of them, and asked in a low voice, Is this the passage leading to another road? Xiao Yin frowned slightly, then nodded. In that case, let's go. Xiao Yan's body slowly lifted into the sky, and as he rose into the sky, thick clouds suddenly poured out of the empty sky, and the sky within a radius of tens of thousands of miles turned dark in an instant. After coming down, countless powerhouses raised their heads in horror and looked at the Shuangdi Mountains, where they felt extremely terrifying energy fluctuations. Under the gaze of countless eyes on the ground, the endless void of the Shuangdi Mountains began to twist violently. The thick cloud layer wriggled, and finally turned into a dark passage. Horrible smell. This is the way to another plane. Looking at the dark passage like a black hole, Xiao Yin flicked his fingers, and 4 rays of light shot into the hands of Suner. All exchange soul jade with each other and leave a soul imprint on it. In this case, if there is any accident, you will be able to know the life and death situation of each other, and you can take these medicine pills. The unknown world is terrifying, and in the face of the unknown, we can only deal with emergencies by making more preparations. Speaking of Xiao Yan's hands, there were 4 Nataka rings, and there were some 9th-grade golden pills in them. It was precisely what Xiao Yan refined when they were retreating and attacking Do Emperor. Xiao Yan's current medicine refining skills can be said to be 10. The product is not too much. These numerous healing medicines all came from Xiao Yan, the #1 pharmacist in the Do-Chi continent. This 9th-grade Jindan is unmatched on the Do-Chi road because it is always refined by the Do-Di strong, and it is not comparable to ordinary Jindan. When Xiao Yan was talking, his face was quite solemn. Even he felt dangerous in that mysterious world. Looking at the passage, even with Xiao Yan's strength, there was not a trace of coercion. Spread out, therefore, have to be cautious. When you enter the passage, you follow me closely. Don't separate. When you encounter a crisis, the first thing you need is to protect yourself. Even if it is the worst plan, we are separated. As long as there is a soul jade, it is easier to find it. Xiao Yan tilted his head and said solemnly to Kalen and Suner, No one knows what the mysterious plane world is about. Although they are unmatched on the Do-Chi continent, when they get there, it is no longer like this. If the time comes, he will never be worried that Suner and Kalen are alone in this unknown world. Kalen and Suner also knew the importance of what Xiao Yan said, so they both nodded calmly. Let's go. After finishing all the instructions, Xiao Yan took a deep breath again and stopped talking nonsense. He grabbed Kalen and Suner with both hands, and when he moved, he turned into a black light as fast as he could. He swept away at the dark black hole like lightning, and behind him, Gu Yuan and Zhu Kuan met, gritted his teeth, and followed. Countless gazes, looking at the meteors streaking across the sky. Some people seem to know what Xiao Yin and others are planning, and there are countless figures kneeling down on that continent. Congratulations to the Emperor Yin. Congratulations to the leader. The mighty voices converged on the Do Chi continent and finally rushed to the sky, echoing between the heaven and the earth for a long time. Little guy, the world there will be 10,000 times more exciting than the Do Chi continent. Hee hee, when I'll be promoted to the Do Emperor level, I'll go to that world to have a look. At that time, you'll have to lay down a place to let enjoy the blessings for your teacher. In the Tianfu Alliance, Yao Lao's eyes could not help but get wet when he saw Xiao Yin, who was gradually disappearing in front of him. Father, mother, son heir, I will come to find you when I reach Do Di. Even with the strength of Xiao Xiao, Baxing Dosheng, seeing the scene of family separation in front of him, tears in the corners of his eyes could not help falling. Xiao Yin, you can't die. You still have to give me medicine to eat. Ziyin knew very well how much Xiao Yin helped him. If it wasn't for him, the end is also the beginning, a new world. Xiao Yin was looking forward to the new world in his heart, and the blood in his heart seemed to be burning again. Let me, Xiao Yin, come to this unknown continent. In the dark passage, there are several seemingly insignificant figures moving forward like meteors. The passage is dark, and it seems to have been flying for a long time, but it is strange that there is no end. Damn, there isn't any trace of Do Chi in this passage, and there seems to be some substance in the darkness that is slowly swallowing our Do Chi. Xiao Yin carefully used his soul power to investigate, and said solemnly, "You must know that the strong Do Emperor has already achieved a small world, and he can use the spiritual energy of heaven and earth to supply himself. A space without the spiritual energy of heaven and earth undoubtedly makes Do Emperor feel uneasy." Damn, why is this passage so long? Gu Yuan couldn't help but said, when he was in the Do Chi continent, he could travel thousands of miles in a flash with his strength as a Do Di. But now he has been flying for a long time and has not come to an end. A touch of unease appeared in Gu Yuan's heart. And then he hurriedly looked at Xiao Yin. There seems to be light in front, and the exit should be in front, but everyone be careful. I always feel that something is not right here. Xiao Yin stared at this space, and the soul power of the Emperor's soul instantly shrouded out. The next moment, I quietly discovered that there were two strange light spots not far away, so I had to speak to Sinner and the others to remind them to move forward slowly. Two small and strange light spots suddenly appeared in the distance from the exit, like a beast that had just opened its eyes after being asleep for a long time. Wait, stop! What do you see? This passage is weird, Xiao Yin said solemnly, and then pointed his finger to two small light spots in the void next to the passage's exit. Gu Yuan, Zhu Kuan, Kai Lin, and Sunner looked towards the place pointed by Xiao Yin. The passage was originally dark, but the space in the distance did not match the darkness, and there was a little bit of inconspicuous light. It seems that something is wrong. This thought has not lasted for a minute in everyone's heart, and suddenly, a mutation happened. At first, I didn't know what it was, but when I got closer, I realized that it was a pair of eyes. Seeing it for a long time made everyone shudder. Ha! The Do Chi continent has never had a Do Di strongman for 10,000 years. I can't believe that it has finally reappeared today. Then, with the power of the five of you, I can finally be freed now. Inside the dark tunnel, as if a deep and powerful breath slowly awakened. A pair of eyes emits a strange light, and the huge figure around the eyes blends with the dark void, making people feel an evil and uncomfortable atmosphere. At first glance, only these huge pupils can be seen. If you are not careful, observation really can't find the hidden dark breath. Seeing the huge pupil in front of him, Xiao Yin was the first to feel that terrifying aura, even above himself. Immediately cast the heavenly fire, 3 mysterious transformations. Demon fire transformation. Nothingness transformation. Emperor flame transformation. Then the Ihua Hungu ruler quickly condensed in his hand. Because even if Xiao Yan's strength of Dodi and the soul of Emperor Realm faced the pair in front of him, the gaze of his eyes made his scalp tingle. Not to mention the other 4 Suner who stepped into Dodi after him. The strange thing is that when Zhu Kuan just faced the former pair of pupils, he actually felt like he was about to bow down and surrender, and even the blood in his body boiled very strangely, and the closer the distance, the stronger it was. What's going on? In order to prevent Xiao Yan from being distracted, Zhu Kuan didn't say anything to Xiao Yan, and then quietly looked at the giant eyes in front of him. "Who is your excellency?" Xiao Yan stared at the pair of huge pupils in front of him, tightly holding the flame ruler with one hand, and the other hand seemed to signal to the people behind him. With Suner and Kalen's understanding of Xiao Yan, how could they not know what this gesture means? Random glances at each other, ready to wait for an opportunity. It's been a long time since I cannibalized Dodi's power. With a few of you, I can completely devour this creature and get rid of this endless void. Voices came from all directions, but in the crowd in front of him, he only showed a pair of huge pupils, and his figure was integrated into the dark space. "We are the newly promoted Do-Di of the Do-Chi continent. This time, we traveled to the new continent by following the passageway. I don't know how to disturb the seniors' rest, so let's say goodbye." As early as when those huge pupils spoke, Xiao Yan let go of the 2. The woman's hand, hidden in the darkness, contained a suffocating, terrifying force. Suner and Kalen saw Xiao Yan like this, adding in the gesture Xiao Yan made before. How could they not know what he was thinking? Just when they opened their mouths, they saw the determination in Xiao Yan's eyes. "Damn it, it's almost the exit. What should I do now?" Gu Yuan anxiously looked at the giant eyes in front of him and the light-filled exit. "You guys go first. I'll hold him back. I'll find you through the soul jade afterwards," Xiao Yan said in a deep voice. And then, without talking nonsense, he tried his best to speed up the brewing of the terrifying energy in his hands. "We are waiting for you in the new world." Suner and Kalen also knew the seriousness of the matter. Facing the huge pupils in front of them, even now that they had been promoted to Do Emperor, they felt powerless, and staying here would only add to Xiao Yan's burden. "Xiao Yan, remember, your life belongs to this king." Kai Lin and Suner quickly walked towards the exit after saying that. Seeing this, Gu Yuan and Zhu Kuan looked at each other without ink. "Go." Then they tried their best to stimulate their vindictiveness and flew towards the exit. At the level of a Do-Di powerhouse, you can know what to do or not just from the perception of aura, which is why Xiao Yan wants Suner and the others to escape first. "Want to leave?" the huge pupils said, and after waiting for 10,000 years, delicious food finally appeared. "How could I let it go?" Boom, boom, boom. A seemingly inconspicuous light appeared from the huge pupil, chasing Suner several people, trying to destroy the exit. The strange thing is that there is a black and white light looming on the forehead in the middle of the pupil. It's going to destroy the exit. "Let's go." Gu Yuan felt the wave of destruction from the light, and the speed of the 4 of them increased to the extreme. Seeing that the 4 fleeing towards the exit were about to be blocked, Xiao Yan immediately launched an offensive to buy time for them to escape. "You bastard, if you want to destroy the exit, pass me first." Huang Quan refers to. Huang Quan Palm instantly stopped him. Huang Chuan's anger. Then, while the giant eye didn't notice Xiao Yan, when the former wanted to destroy the exit, Xiao Yan struck his soul attack and hit the giant eye directly. Buddha's Fury, Fire Lotus. The unknown creature before Xiao Yan's meeting was attacked by his own soul, causing it to stagnate for a short second. On his hand, there was a Buddha's Fury Fire Lotus composed of 22 colors that exuded terrifying fluctuations. Born to be born. Go! Xiao Yan exerted all his soul power to control the Buddha's Fury Fire Lotus to smash the pupil in front of him with all his might. Xiao Yan, we are waiting for you. If you die, I will not live. The four Sunner escaped before the exit was destroyed, and then the whole space echoed with Sunner's voice. The seemingly gentle Meeting, saying these words is enough to see how important Xiao Yan is to him. All of this happened between lightning and flint. Xiao Yan looked at the four people who disappeared in front of him, and immediately felt relieved, and muttered to himself, Sunner Kalen, you must wait for me, and I will definitely look for you. Xiao Yan is not a long-winded person, and immediately controlled the Buddha's anger lotus seeds, which exuded a destructive force, to attack the huge pupil in front of him. Boom, boom, boom. The Buddha's wrathful lotus full of destruction was in the middle of the unknown creature, and the terrifying destructive power spread out in circles. And when the aftermath of the battle dissipated, the true face of the unknown creature was about to surface. I want to see who you are? Xiao Yan's voice echoed in this mysterious passage.